This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones at tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
And what about our Superconnectivity podcast?
What about that Superconnectivity podcast? Does anyone listen? I don't think so. But hey, kids, it's me, Charlie, the Professor Esser, who professes things here from New Jersey, and of course, way off in the land of Jim Shooter, the land of the original Star Brand, the home of the greatest generation of comic book superheroes, Pittsburgh.
Phil me and Perich. I didn't know I was getting like a Kevin Smith-like introduction.
Yeah, you know what? I respect you, Philip. You are the man who has built from nothing something that truly amazes. And I know, between your 800 podcasts that you're on, I know because I actually listen to a lot of them on occasion. It's amazing. You like the channel, and then they just start playing on your phone as you're walking to the store, which is great because I love that. For the record, for those who do know, who want to know, yes, you do have internet access in prison, but it's a big controversy because it's part of the prison industrial complex. So we'll talk about all that later tonight on a big year-end Capes and Lunatics Funcast.
Oh, yeah. Charlie Esser heard that on the Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks Quantum Zone.
What about our podcast, the Quantum Zone?
Yeah, let me tell you something, kids. If you're only listening to Capes and Lunatics and not the Sidekicks, you're missing half of the stuff you need to get by in life. It's like big crossover episodes. You start reading a crossover, it's like, wait, what happened to this character? Why is this person just suddenly showing up and saying, I have the MacGuffinatron? Well, if you'd read the crossovers, you'd know. And that's why you should definitely subscribe to the Sidekicks. Just so you know. I'm just saying. So, lots of stuff to talk about, because there's a lot of things out there in the Phanosphere right now. One of them I do want to touch on, because Disney, spoiled itself, by revealing that Jude Law will be Captain Mar-Vell.
Well, they kind of spoiled that right away when they said he was Walter Lawson. That's the name, that's the alias Mar-Vell went under, so they could have switched it around, but still, they kind of sort of hinted at it already.
Yeah, they hinted at it, but this was the first official statement.
Mm-hmm.
That they, spoiled it. They spoiled it again. See, now they can't be so mad at Mark Ruffalo all the time. It's like, I remember you guys spoiled it all too. So, anyway.
Yeah, but I'm always like, is Ruffalo really doing this? Is it accidental, or is it, some PR person going, hey, can you go accidentally spoil this for us?
It's pretty much, that's what happens. It's like, I'm such a bad spoiler, and poor Spider-Man does it too. So here's the thing. This got me thinking, and honestly, it's not something that needed a lot of thought to it, but it's one of these things that now you're just realizing, oh wait, that means X is Y and 2 + 2 is 4. Mm-hmm. We do have this understanding that there is Captain Mar-Vell. He is the leader of Star Force, which includes him and Carol Danvers and whoever else. And here's my thing. He is Captain Mar-Vell. Will Karen Danvers be Ms. Mar-Vell, as in Mrs. Mar-Vell took his name, when we open up this story, and then takes his title Captain Mar-Vell, or Captain Marvel, after he is obviously murdered sorry, Cancer, we don't got time for you today. It's like, this is, we got time on the clock, Cancer, so sorry.
It's probably could be like a 2.5 hour movie. We don't got time for Cancer.
We don't got time for you, Cancer. Sorry. So I think he's undone by Kree duplicity, because we know duplicitous Kree is all over this.
Mm-hmm.
Does she take the title Captain Mar-Vell when she fights against the Kree? and that's how she takes her name. My prediction is she starts off as Ms. Mar-Vell.
I don't know.
I think that she's married to him. I think she's married to him and she's taking his name.
I mean, I don't know about that, but yeah, I agree with you at the end that, that when he meets his untimely end, she'll take the name, she'll be Captain Mar-Vell because of him, so.
Yeah, no, but I was just thinking, what it is it's a way to appease the idea of Ms. Mar-Vell without actually having to make her a subordinate.
Or what if Mar-Vell isn't so much a name as like another rank, like Captain? Like Captain Major or whatever, something.
So you are the new Captain Mar-Vell. Yeah. That seems, it's a possibility. I'm not feeling it, and I think that there's a value to approaching the Ms. Mar-Vell storyline and not making it over. Here's what I'm going to say, okay? And here's what I'm going to tell you, because this is about, again, we don't have time for cancer, okay?
Unless the Kree give him some kind of, like space cancer that kills you in like 20 minutes or something.
Fine, if you're going to have, sure. Space cancer, yeah.
Well, whatever Kree version of cancer is, yeah.
Yeah, but right to the cancer version, got it. No, but here's my thing. Within that idea, we have this constrained timeline. You have the reality that you have to establish why taking the name Captain Mar-Vell from Captain Mar-Vell makes sense. And it makes the most sense if there is this deep, long, abiding love between the two. That even maybe she chose. So in all of our flashbacks. Okay. Remember John Walker?
Yes, U.S. agent.
U.S. agent. Remember when he got his memory wiped?
Yes.
And he did this whole thing where he's like, I gotta find out who wiped my memory. And then it's like, you asked us to wipe your memory, so he wiped your memory. And what if that's going to be part of her story? That essentially she fell in love with Mar-Vell. She became Mrs. Mar-Vell, but they said you can't hold on to your earthly roots. And so she chose to have her memory wiped. So it's going to be like she thought she was tortured by the Kree, but actually she made the choice to have her mind wiped and to become, Lieutenant Mar-Vell. And that's sort of the idea here. And then, but still, Kree duplicity kills her mans. They're gonna fridge that. You're gonna fridge that Captain Mar-Vell. Put him right in that fridge. Give her some hero angst to overcome. And
or unless they really surprise us, in the comics they've recently retconned it where she's half Kree, because her mother was Kree.
Yeah.
What if they give us the opposite in this movie and surprise everyone? What if Mar-Vell's her father? Her biological father.
That's just crazy.
And she has to she takes her father's position,
name. Yeah. So she's actually Carol Mar-Vell. Yeah. That's asking a lot. Not for nothing.
It would be a surprise.
Obvi. But it's so much of a surprise that I think, and here's the thing. Why create the whole mom is a Kree storyline just to make her Mar-Vell's daughter? Now, I don't know, Jude Law, is he that much older than Brie Larson? It's entirely possible. And not for nothing, it's Hollywood. And so, 80-year-old men are often like, hey, 23 skidoo, you hot young lady. We're clearly, obviously, dateable.
I don't know. Again, it's Hollywood, but I just don't know because maybe they would have went that route in the comics, but they almost kind of were romantic in the comics. They're probably like, yeah, we don't want another Luke and Leia here, so yeah, in the comics we'll just make them all Kree. Yeah.
No, that's the thing. I don't think they're going to go that way. So first off, if you want to put her as half Kree, that's fine. Honestly, of all the recent retcons, that's the most likely to get unretconned, in my opinion. It's it's such a reach for it. It's like, oh no, my mom was always a Kree super soldier from another dimension. She just hasn't mentioned it for 40 freaking years. Or 30 freaking years.
Okay, I looked it up. Brie Larson is 29, Jude Law is 46.
It's reasonable.
It's Hollywood. I mean, even if it's 2 or 3 years off, you can always fudge the numbers in a movie. Yeah.
Oh, you mean for being her parent? Yeah, I guess so. Oh, 46 and 29. Oh,
yes.
No, they shouldn't even be dating then, quite frankly. Maybe a fling, but yeah.
No, I'm saying, I mean, numbers, they could fudge it so he's the father.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he is, and we don't know Kree aging.
Yeah, we don't know how they age. Yeah, exactly.
And clearly Kree lived like 100 years, so from what we've seen in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, canon. So I'm okay with that. I mean, if they want to do that way, make her Lieutenant Mar-Vell. Although then it gets a little bit like derivative of Star-Lord. Mm-hmm. That your father was a spaceman, and now
maybe.
It's like, didn't we just do that story? But it ended poorly.
I know, but they've already retconned it in the comics where one of her parents is Kree. So I mean, so it's
but why retcon it in the comics to make her mom Kree if it was her dad that they're going to make in the movie?
I don't know.
I'm just saying, you don't want to make this. You don't want to make people work too hard, though. You want them to work for their happiness. You don't want them to work too hard, though. So here we have. So I guess, I mean, him being the dad, honestly, 46, 29, like I said, that's a big age gap for a parent. But again, we don't know Kree aging. Maybe Kree lived 200 years, and being 46 is like being 29 in Earth years.
Or maybe we're both wrong. Can he just be like some like mentor to her? That
it could be. It could just be his mentor. But in that case, here's the thing. I want her to take the name Mar-Vell, which is why I like the idea you came up with. That Mar-Vell is actually an honorific, like professor, meaningless but still given to people.
We'll get into that. Though.
Or taken by force. Yeah. I mean, I think that would be. So she is like the Lieutenant Mar-Vell, and then upon his passing, she ascends to the rank of Captain Mar-Vell. Does it go Lieutenant Captain, or does it go Captain Lieutenant? I forget.
I don't know. It doesn't.
I know Major is above both, but I can't remember if it goes Lieutenant Captain or Captain Lieutenant. But yeah, I think it's Lieutenant Captain.
I think,
and then Major. Yeah, because Lieutenant America just wouldn't have sold. Although I'd love to meet Lieutenant America. I'm Lieutenant America. Oh, it's the guy right behind Steve Rogers.
Excuse me, that was Bucky's name in the beginning.
Lieutenant America, yeah, it works for me. So that's this thing. So we do have Jude Law is going to be Captain Mar-Vell, which is great. Good to have a little reference to the original storyline, and we'll see if he has Negaband.
I was going to say, I wonder if they're going to introduce Negabands into the universe.
I wonder if they're going to introduce Rick Jones.
Ooh.
Because not for nothing, I'm thinking we're going to get Doc Samson in Infinity War. Because because here's what I was thinking,
You mean
the Russos. Well, yeah, Endgame. Whatever. Electric Boogalore. When we get to Electric Boogalore, I think we are going to get Doc Samson. And here's my thinking. So, why does Hulk not show up? The Russos made this whole big thing. Oh, he's there because he doesn't want to solve Banner's problems for him. Which is an interesting statement, obviously, but it's actually, first off, the real answer, which is Power Stone and Afraid. Because clink, clink, closes the fist, established, that's how the glove works, it's all in there. But here's the thing, them saying that the reason he doesn't come out is because he's tired of solving Banner's problems suggests we're actually going to get that psychological explanation.
Mm.
And we already got Ross from the last movie in this.
Mm-hmm.
So they brought Ross back. So, Mr. Dunphy coming back is not that Ty Burrell. He plays on Modern Family. He plays, I forget his first name, but his last name is Dunphy.
I was for a second. I was gonna be like, "Wait a minute, you're bringing Dennis Dunphy into this? What the hell?"
we should, but we'll get to that when we talk about, because thank gosh, someone remembered. Although someone's also missing from that party. We'll get to that when we get to the other party technically, but of course although they invited the other ex. That's all I'm saying. We'll get to that in a minute. That's the big wedding special. But here's my thing. I think the idea of getting Doc Samson in this, even if it's just regular non-powered Doc Samson, is very likely because I think the Russo brothers making this whole psychological argument about the Hulk not wanting to always solve Banner's problems speaks to that this needs a psychological solution. This needs someone coming in and saying, well, yeah, he's not here because you're relying on the Hulk, but you don't respect the Hulk. You don't respect, just like ridiculous because, it's not really dissociative identity disorder. It's really something a little more complex than that. It's like, no, it's still Bruce Banner, and he doesn't respect himself because he doesn't respect himself when he loses his temper. This is more, honestly, we may even get the whole, oh man, what if they actually do, let's try and separate the Hulk out with a mineral bath kind of thing? I don't know. That'd be fun. But,
I'd rather see some Joe Fix-It.
Maybe we'll get that too, man. Well, that's the thing. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get Professor Hulk in this.
Oh.
If not Joe Fix-It. Because when you bring them together, in fact, I would really expect to see Professor Hulk in this, because you're going to have that moment where they have to come into that conversation, and at some point, and not for nothing, we actually have already established the Ringmaster in the Netflix universe as a hypnotist. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Ty Burrell bring him in as a consultant to probe Banner's psyche. So I actually think that the good folks, that the good Russo brothers actually gave a pretty big spoiler in that to say it's a psychological problem that they're going to be bringing back Doc Samson or Carla Soften, one or the other.
Ooh.
Depending on how awful they want to be in this. I'm hoping for Doc Samson.
Oh, but if we bring in Moonstone, we've already had Zemo, we've already had Moonstone, we're a step closer to Thunderbolts.
Oh yeah, that's your after credit scene if they do that.
Yes. You have Carla Soften sitting in a cell, and you just hear a voice say, "Miss Soften, I have a proposition for you," and you pan up and it's Zemo.
Oh no! Better than that is it just they're in there and he just says, "So what are you in for?" Classic prison line. What are you in for? And
she's just like, "Who the hell are you?" And he's just like, "Just some citizen, just another citizen."
Yeah, you don't want to overplay. You don't want to Justice League it. It's like, huh? We're gonna form a league of our own. Maybe a legion of sorts. Wouldn't that be cool?
And you'll never see us again.
No, we won't. I think Legion of Doom will be Dr. Sylvania and Black Manta, honestly. If Black Manta's lucky. And, of course, our good friend. Okay, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I would love to see all the psychological stuff with the Hulk. What I was going to say, I wonder if they would have time at Endgame, because they got so much stuff to do. But also, did you see, I guess now they're saying it might clock in at like 3 hours?
Yeah, it's going to be a long movie, Philip.
I mean, the last one was 2.5 or a little over, but I was like, holy crap.
Like I said, there's gonna be a lobby break. There has to be. No one can hold that much soda in their bladder for that long. It's physically impossible.
Or the theater's like, nobody's buying soda. What the hell?
Well, they can't do that. I predict there will be an intermission.
Yeah.
I predict that basically it's going to be a 4-hour, so block out 4 hours, because it's 3 hours of movie, at least 20 minutes of peeing that will be required for it, because everyone has to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And there's only like 2 or 3 bathrooms in the theater, let's be honest here. Even with the multiple stars, that's a line. You have to go after a film, you always know there's a line.
Yeah. But, I mean, to go along with your theory about, the whole Hulk thing and the psychological thing, I mean, you could save face with the Hulk and everything. Couldn't you just say, like, Thanos used the Mind Stone and kind of put, like, a mental block? He kind of created this artificial fear in the Hulk's mind. Almost like a mental block, so they can't change.
He didn't have the Mind Stone yet.
Ah, true. In the beginning, yeah.
Mind Stone's still in good old Vision. Yeah. Come on, Phil.
Damn, I forgot. Sorry.
Come on, no.
Unless he used the
didn't even
time
get
stone.
Tesseract
Unless he used the
until
time
after.
stone and went back in time when he got it.
No. Although, speaking of that does lead us into another thing. So the official biography of Loki on the Marvel Comics website suggests that Loki was under the influence of the Mind Stone when he was summoning Thanos.
Yes.
Now, there's the pedestrian theory, what all the hoi polloi that says, oh, well, clearly this was Thanos' manipulation of Loki through the Mind Stone while Loki's holding the scepter. Ridiculous,
Again,
because Loki's holding the scepter.
Yeah, and I was going to say, Thanos didn't have the stone, did he? Well,
the head of the Chitauri had it.
Okay.
I guess is the idea. Honestly, the entire political structure of Alien Worlds is very, very suspect, if you ask me.
I don't know. It just smacks of me of like Loki fans trying to redeem Loki, and it's like, isn't this who Loki is?
Well, I mean, it is who Loki is. First off, this is what I'm going to say. It is who Loki is.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm going to say. If anyone's getting controlled, I'm going to say it's the Mind Stone controlling Thanos, saying, "Get me a Loki."
Oh yeah.
It's the Mind Stone saying here, I got to get out of this freaking scepter. I got to, not for nothing, if anything is going to convince... Here's the thing. It solves that problem of, hey, if Thanos wants the Infinity Stones, why do you give one to Loki? Because the freaking Mind Stone's like, hey, purple guy, shut up, do what I say. I'm the freaking Mind Stone. You do what I say because I'm the Mind Stone.
Or we see, Loki and Thanos and everyone have been mind controlled at certain points, and you just see, you get a scene of the Grand Master and the Collector sitting in a room going, "Oh crap! They figured it out. It's."
Yes. I'm waiting for that. Here's what I'll say. I think it's very possible and very probable that the mind, like I said, and I've said this from the start, these stones are aware.
Mm-hmm.
They make choices. They decide things, and this is presented at Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
For those who say, "Oh, it's not all connected," it's all freaking connected.
It's super connected.
It's super connected. At the start of Guardians of the Galaxy, we see this world that had the Power Stone. Power Stone. It's the freaking Soul Stone. They just couldn't say that for China. Just saying, because it only killed things that were alive. It didn't just kill everything. It's an important point they make in Guardians of the Galaxy. But, but here's the thing. We show that this world was this utopia, clearly powered by the Infinity Stone.
Yeah.
Then it becomes a barren world with, and this is the most important point, they make the point in Guardians of the Galaxy that, for reasons, the gravity on this world is messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Gravity is messed up in the same way that gravity is messed up on Thanos' world. Suggesting that at one point, this stone powered the world and gave this world its utopia, but eventually became tired of being that world's utopia. And then when it shut off, when it turned itself off, which stones do, as it did for Red Skull after World War II, and then they couldn't reactivate the stone, the world fell into chaos and disrepair and became, of course, a mirror of what Thanos' home world of Titan became. So clearly the stones are the ones manipulating it. Okay? Here's my big prediction. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Stones have been gathered together in a gauntlet, which is burnt out. But what if those stones want something more than that? They want to be closer than just being in a gauntlet. What if the stones have been manipulating everyone the whole time to get themselves back together so they could reform as eternity?
Ooh, maybe. Or some entity like that, like when you combine, like, when a cosmic cube evolves. Yeah!
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. But here's the idea, is that these stones have been bringing themselves together, manipulating Loki, manipulating Thanos the whole time, manipulating the Red Skull. So can any of you people bring us together? Okay, Skull, you're worthless. That's why we're going to recast you in the final film. I'm telling you right now, Skull, you're worthless. We even recast Thanos, okay? Let's be honest here. We've recast Thanos. We are not having any of this. And the stones are sentient, conscious beings manipulating everyone. And then you find out that it was the stones all along. And they eventually become eternity. Or, one step better, you get the living tribunal passing judgment on the stones. Because the living tribunal was referenced in Doctor Strange.
Oh, yes!
So you get the living tribunal saying, stones, you've been bad, stones. You don't get to get reformed because maybe the actual reforming of the stones actually leads to something even more horrific. So Thanos goes, oh, I didn't realize the stones were going to destroy all the universe. I just wanted to do my stupid wish. And it's like, yeah, well, that's what happens with stupid wishes. Didn't you ever read anything about genies? Like, what's a genie? We don't have that on Titan. Say, well, let me tell you.
The universe is out of balance. It's way too far towards chaos.
Yeah, well, the universe is already out of balance because that lane missed the snap. It's a half plus one. Ha ha! Life wins. You lose, Thanos. Oh man. And now Deadpool's here. What happened? I don't know. They're all coming in now. All the things. But yeah, so I mean that's always been my theory. I've always had this theory that the stones are alive, the stones are manipulating things, and the stones are driving things forward. So I think this is Mar-Vell saying that's the case. I think the Russo brothers basically saying that, yeah, we need someone to help, Banner work through his issues. Finally. Yeah, go see a doctor. Dr. Banner. Go see someone who knows about the brain. Go Doc Samson or Carlos Soffen. They're both tops in their field. That's one thing we can agree on. Anyway, so that's that. Do you have any thoughts on any of this, Phil? I know your basic job is just to sit here and say, "Yep, I'm here to be the person that Turner looks at while he talks."
I agree with you on a lot of that. I was just when you were talking about with the stones and how it messed up Thanos' planet and all this. I'm just like, instead of a big plot, maybe it's just whenever you use a stone, bad things happen. So it's like, well, how bad is the universe messed up now that Thanos used not only all 6 at once, but then he wiped out half the universe?
Yeah, I mean, not for nothing. I think, honestly, as with all things, Thanos didn't think it through. I think Thanos is not, as often happens, Thanos is not good at his job. He thinks he's going to make the universe great again. He's not, because he's bad at his job. Thanos. Anyway, one other thing I really wanted to talk about, because this is kind of a sore subject. I mean, so I'm a reader of the Mary Sue. I like the MarySue.com. It's a great. And honestly, it is really right in the middle of the zeitgeist of nerd culture, because it came along just as everyone was saying, hey, wouldn't it be great if there was not so much white maleness in nerd culture, because a lot of nerds aren't white male. So maybe we had people who represented it, and then someone formed a website that said, I want to write about not white male nerds in nerd culture. And then synergy, and now we're here. Now, I read the Mary Sue a lot. I don't always agree with him as a white male. That's kind of to be expected. There's a movie on Prime called Homecoming, and every time I hear that, I just think of Spider-Man. So
yes,
it's a little confusing to me. No, that's the Spider-Man movie. No, it's a different movie. Anyway, so the Mary Sue had a bit today about environmentalist villains. And, they make the point about how Orm, what's his name?
Yeah, Orm, Ocean Master, yeah, Orm. Yeah.
Orm.
O-R-M.
Orm is a name. Yeah. Even underwater, is Orm a name? I don't know. It's a stupid name, Orm. Your mom didn't like you. That's the real secret. Your mom didn't like you. Yeah, call that one Orm.
She had to have you. It was an arranged marriage.
Yeah, the other guy is Arthur, the king. You're Orm. I don't know. What was the last syllable I said? Orm? Okay. Let me know. Don't give him a second syllable. He isn't worth a second syllable. No, they made this point about environmentalist villains. And this bugs me because the Atlanteans aren't environmentalists. Okay.
Orm used that as an excuse to conquer the surface world. He wasn't worried about the state of the planet.
Clearly, all the Atlantean armies are using it as an excuse. Because, not for nothing, the fishermen are only going along because the Atlanteans, and I forget what Dolph Lundgren's group was called, but the Highborn. Let's call a shelter having an entrenching tool, the Highborns. Because you have the very human-looking, we're the human ones.
The gingers.
And then you have, we're the gingers. And then we have the blondes and the gingers. Gee. Nazism. Oh. Atlantean Nazis. Dang it. I hate Atlantean Nazis. Like, I can deal with snakes, but Nazis, those are worse. Why is it always got to be Atlantean Nazis? Anyway, and we do see that even, like, you know, Mira's dad is like, nah, actually, I kind of want to do a war. Because we have this bloated military-industrial complex based on a ridiculous, feudalistic political idea of, oh, I'm the king. And here's the thing. Because there's all these there's all these comparisons between Atlantis and Wakanda. You know, here's the main difference. First off, Wakanda isn't, well, okay, technically there are like 4 different tribes in Wakanda. Just like there's several different groups of Atlanteans. But they're, first off, the Wakandans aren't claiming the entire Earth as their sovereign domain. The Atlanteans are claiming all of the Earth's, they're actually claiming all of the Earth as their sovereign domain. There's just dry parts in their sovereign domain. And, more to the point, and this is the real thing, is like, if the Atlanteans actually were environmentalists, they would take their environmentally clean technology and not give it to the surface world, but sell it. That's the thing. It's like, you say, well, they can't just give it away. Like, no, I'm not saying give it away, sell it. You know, Reed Richards has an argument for not selling his technology, which is that his technology is not cost effective. That's like the main reason you don't see Fantastic Cars everywhere. It's like, do you know how much a Fantastic Car costs? Do you think there's actually a market for Fantastic Cars?
No.
You know, no, there's not. I mean, literally, and not for nothing, this is canon, because one of the main things that annoyed the Wizard was that the Fantastic Four were cutting into his business because he was selling anti-gravity discs to billionaires or millionaires back then, inflation, you know. But that was his side gig, is he would sell these technology to rich people because rich people wanted to float, you know, as you do when you got $1 million. They, I would like to float. Here's $1 million. Make me float, Wizard. Here you go. Have one.
Well, I mean, the whole Atlantean problem, of course, Charlie, it boils down to one thing. It's a DC movie.
Fight me, nerd.
No. It's not a DC issue because Namor has the exact same problem. And this is my thing. You put Arthur Curry on the throne of Atlantis, little Captain Man-Child of Atlantis. He's a man-child. He's a the movie one.
Don't need control.
He is a man-child. And they have surfed into that curve for some reason. I don't know why. They did it in Smallville too. You know, and I did not know why Surfer Bro. See, like I said, I don't know what Aquaman is in the comics. But there have been 2 live-action versions of him. First is Surfer Bro, and second is slightly Polynesian Surfer Bro. You know? It's like, literally, that's the difference. Is one is, well, we're the Surfer Bro, but where surfing was invented. There is no depth to either of the Aquaman that have been created for live-action.
Depth.
Depth. It's a real word.
I know.
Depth. Yeah, but yes, you know.
But I don't know why. I mean, Lilith maybe can answer this better, but it's like, yeah, they dumb him down for live action, and I don't know why.
Yeah, it's really weird too.
Yeah,
because it's not like it makes any sense to me. It's like I said, it doesn't make any sense to me why you would, of all the characters to dumb down, why Aquaman is the one you would dumb down. It's like, but not for nothing. If nothing, my own honest opinion is they're trying to make him like Namor. For whatever reason, they decided that they want to do a story about Namor, but they only have rights to Aquaman because Namor is a man-child, and along the exact same lines, he lives in the advanced civilization of Atlantis, and then he complains about surface dwellers polluting the ocean. Surface dwellers only pollute the oceans because they don't have Atlantean technology. It's like, the whole thing with Wakanda is, at the end of Wakanda, they say, let's start selling people Wakandan technology and then be even richer.
Yeah.
Because in Wakanda, basically what they had was they had what was a tribalistic society, which with probably very localized merchant craftsmen, which means that they were probably vibranium smiths. Yeah. Like big old dudes with hammers, building all of the freaking, nanotech. Like, ping, 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 and then they make it's a nanotech. I made it with my vibranium. That there's artisanal craftsmen all over the place in Wakanda making all that tech that you see. There's not like a big factory that's all handmade.
But yeah, I mean, no one's going to care if you make $1 billion if you're making the world a better place.
Well, exactly. And that's the thing. And Wakanda says, well, let's start selling some of this nonsense over to Roxxon. Those guys are always looking for cheap and efficient ways to do things. And it eliminates that whole pollution issue. And Namor doesn't even have the excuse that we're being hiding because we're things, Honestly, when you have that hidden kingdom with super advanced technology that is then mad at everyone else for not having super advanced technology, it's kind of on you, dog. I'm just going to say it's kind of on you that they don't have super advanced technology because you have super advanced technology which you can sell them. Not give, you can sell it to them. And they will buy it and they will give you whatever trinket you want,
Did you ever read any of those John Byrne Namor issues? From like the early 90s?
No.
Okay, I just bought a few, I started reading them, and he kind of explains why Namor has mood swings.
Oh, why is that?
Because since he's just like Aquaman, just because he's half Atlantean and half surface dweller, if he stays too long out of the water, his chemical imbalance starts going nuts, or it's too much oxygen, or if he stays underwater too long, there's not enough oxygen. So.
That's a pretty brilliant thing, and that is classic Byrne.
Yeah.
We gotta get that guy on the show. He will think I'm an idiot. That's all I gotta say.
I'll work on that.
He probably will. But this is the thing. It's like, I really feel that the makers of Aquaman at Warner's want to do a Namor film way more than people at Mar-Vell want to do a Namor film. Because here's the thing about Namor, is Namor has never been a hero. Namor literally the only reason why we think Namor is a hero is because he fought Nazis. Mm-hmm. Stalin fought Nazis. Always remember, there's lots of people that fought Nazis, didn't make them good people. Just made them understand that, well, that person is actually relatively worse than me, and I will destroy them.
Well, and Captain America vouched for him.
Yeah, but not for nothing. Captain America was like 19 years old.
Yeah, but even later, like in the 80s, like Namor was an Avenger for like 2 seconds because Cap was like, "Oh yeah, let's put Namor on the team."
Yeah, and I'm just saying, Cap is not the best judge of character.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. You might like him, but the buddy you had when you were 19 might not be the best guy to vice president of your company. Yeah.
Yeah, not for nothing. His first appearance, he's like beating up pirates, which is great, but still, he's beating up people, and then he like smashes a roller coaster in Coney Island. The guy has his issues.
Beating on some flaming android, yeah.
Yeah, that poor android. And, honestly, Hammond, I forget his first name.
Jim Hammond, yeah.
Jim Hammond. I was thinking James. I was going to say James Hammond, but I was like, it can't be James. That's not a comic book name. The consonants don't rhyme. But yeah, Jim Hammond, he becomes Uber and says, well, I guess I should become a police officer. Because that's what I should do if I would like to fight criminals with my superpowers. Only one universe does Spider-Man become Spider-Cop. And somehow he grew a mustache on his mask. I don't know how, but he did it. We don't know.
It's fake.
But yeah, that's the thing. It's like, Namor is a villain. Namor has always been a villain. Aquaman kind of... Actually, that's the sad thing is Aquaman isn't even a villain. He is just a privileged... Like, honestly, like, oh, Aquaman, he's going to save the DCU. It's like, are you sure about that? Because he kind of seems like a privileged wastrel who is now king of Atlantis and still isn't going to do anything about it, But I don't think he understands in any way what his responsibility is as king of Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just going to get manipulated by Green Goblin and probably going to start another war. Didn't they have Aquaman start a war with the surface world at some point for reasons?
What, Aquaman?
Yeah, wasn't there one where he's like coming out with it when he had the harpoon hand? Yeah, I think it was before they did the last reboot. I remember seeing him being all angry coming out. It's like, oh, they're doing Atlantic attacks over it.
Maybe, but the big one I remember is in the Flashpoint timeline in the comics, the Atlanteans and the Amazons were at war and like basically tearing the world apart because Aquaman and Wonder Woman were at war with their armies.
As you do. Anyway, yeah, so that's it. So I don't like people being down. Just get back to the original point. There's this idea that, they're always making the environmentalists a villain. And it's like, it's not that they're making the environmentalists a villain. And someone in the comments post had made the comment that, it was weird when I used to watch Super Friends a lot, pretty much every other villain was an environmentalist, where they were always worried about what humanity was doing. Mm-hmm. And the point is, an interesting point, it was always people with shrinking technology. Okay, Phil has ghosts. I don't know. There's a cool one behind him. What was that? It's not that they care about the world that was bothering people. It was that they didn't care about people. That they felt that they could decide what the world should be, and everyone else had to do what they said. And they weren't going to brook no back talk on the subject. And it's like, that's the difference between a hero and a villain. Because a hero says, I want you to do good. And villain says, you're going to do what I say. And very often what happens is people will use what looks like a good reason to explain their villainy. Where it's not about the environment, it's about how they want to take control of people. It's not about them wanting to save the world, it's about them wanting to control the world. And that's what it issue. And I think that there's this disconnect at times because you want your villains to be sympathetic, so you give them this backstory that ties back to environmentalism, because that seems like a big cosmic thing you can make people tie back to. But at the end of the day, it's not about what they want to do for the environment, it's about how they want to control the universe, as exampled by Thanos. Anyway, you want to talk about comic books, Phil?
Sure.
Okay, let's talk, do you want to do FF or Superior first? FF or SS first?
I don't care. What do you want to do?
Okay, let's talk Fantastic Four, because I'm going to be honest with you, I was soft on this issue.
Oh!
This was not there was some good in it. Basically, here's what I'm going to tell you. After it stops being Sue's story, it starts to fall off a lot. Honestly, Johnny's story is not that good. But it was thrown together at the last minute, it seemed. So, for a story about Ben and Alicia, there was not a lot of Ben and Alicia in it. So, I think I would have much preferred Ben and Alicia's stories in this book rather than Sue and Johnny's story. And then we don't even get a Reed story. Reed's story is so one-off in Deus Ex Machina at the end that it's a little disappointing, honestly.
Yeah.
I figured he was doing something like that,
I figured, some kind of wedding present or something. Yeah, I thought he was going to have like a cure for Ben, or even like a temporary thing, or hey, Alicia, here you can see for 24 hours or something. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm sure that was like on his list, but I think that was kind of like, honestly, there was no real solution that he could come up with. And honestly, it was just, and then of course we have the redooming of Doom, which is, not good. But what I did like
So these are the things I liked about this issue. Sue owning up to her own being not a nice lady. That she's the one who says, "Oh, I didn't know you were a coward, Ben." After they went and hung out the night before, it's like, Sue. That's why no one likes you, Sue. Just saying. Maybe you're a little too. And then you have the whole thing about how she's messing stuff up with her and Ben, and it's like, Sue, maybe don't get so involved in other people's lives. Maybe don't be so judgmental. Because she's being judgmental at Ben. "Oh, I didn't know you were a coward." Like, "Oh, let me force this blind girl and you together because, reasons." Honestly, Sue comes off as very unlikable, and that was still the best story in the group, in my opinion.
This girl with a wig and some stage makeup who looks could look almost like my twin.
Yeah, there was no stage makeup or wig in the first one. I'm saying I may be wrong on that, but I'm just gonna say I don't think that was the case. I think it
might have just been a wig, maybe, or.
Yeah, honestly, it was Kirby lampshading his inability to draw women. I got two of them. I got big boobs and small boobs. That's what I draw. Yeah, I got Medusa or Sue Storm. Take your pick. Or originally Betsy Ross, which was the first woman he drew. Also probably looks exactly like Sue Storm. In fact, I would love to grab some old Captain America comic books and do a comparison. Like, yep, same exact body and face. Oh goodness, Jack. But anyway,
and we get the bachelor party, and is it another bachelorette party?
No, it's the same bachelorette party. That's just before the mole woman showed up.
Oh, okay.
So it's when they first went to the strip club.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I was asking that, and that's why Thundra wasn't at the bachelorette party. Although, why is she inviting Ben's exes to the bachelorette party? I mean, really, it's like, I will go with the men. Just to have someone else for Johnny Storm to hit on. For reasons. Again, reasons, we need them.
Well, they already put it on, too. It's like, yeah, look at all these women in the Fantastic Four's life. Johnny dated her.
Yeah, well, of course. Dated. Married a scroll of her. And then that was the weirdest thing about that whole thing is hey, we should talk about the fact that you dated a scroll of my girlfriend. It's but he didn't actually date your girlfriend.
Exactly.
It's now, honestly, had there been...
yeah, but I think it's more the idea of, you thought it was her, so...
Yeah, but still, it's but it wasn't her, so it's no harm, no foul. I'm just going to say no harm, no foul on that one.
Yeah.
But here's my thing about that. I hope that was all meant to be a big foreshadowing that they're going to be bringing Elijah back in later episodes. Because, not for nothing, this is the one person Johnny Storm fell in love with.
Mm-hmm.
And they make the point, when you know it's right, you know it's right, and you do what it is. And I think that is the implication, that they're going to be bringing Elijah back. I just wish he had been in this issue in some way.
I know they're planning to play it he fell in love with the real Elijah, in even when she was pretending to be Alicia, but it's yeah, but before they got married, was she just saying what he wanted to hear because she was a spy?
Yeah, but they were married for a good long time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can't, it's like this. At a certain point, you can't keep that up forever.
Yeah.
Even the Black Widow is, Black Widow never married nobody. No. She's not married to Tony Stark, even though she did the whole seduce. Not married to Hawkeye either. It's she seduces and then she kills. That's her shtick. Elijah's saying, well, I will marry Johnny Storm and have a child with him for reasons. Or at least make him think I had a child with him for reasons. And, yeah, it's crazy. But no, I hope they bring Elijah back. I hope that's what this whole debacle was about, is we're going to have Elijah and Johnny build a relationship again. But again, why was Sharon Ventura not here? Aside from the fact that maybe she's in prison or maybe now on the lam. Which actually I think, okay, so I guess you can make that argument. She's on the lam, she couldn't come. But so, why are you inviting Thundra to this?
Yeah.
It's why was Thundra invited? who thought Thundra would be a good idea to invite to this? It's not like she's like an active member of the Fantastic Four family. She like dated Ben years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Her daughter, once was part of the Frightful Four, as was Thundra, as you do. As was Sharon Ventura, it's like, and Sharon Ventura actually knows Wyatt Wingfoot. It's like, if anyone actually had a tie to be in this, and not for nothing, I was kind of hoping that what would have made it cool is if Johnny had hit on Sharon Ventura. That would have been kind of cool. But
how would that would have been? Because if she's the thing, they'd be like, you're hitting on a woman that looks exactly like Ben now, right?
Not exactly. She has boobs.
I know, but still.
Just ask Jack Kirby. Yeah, I mean, however you want to play it, I just thought that would have been neat. But
unless we get some kind of team showing up soon with that's like Elijah, Sharon Ventura,
the X-Men, EX, or the X's. Or the X-women. There we go.
X4, yeah.
The X4. Hey, it's all owned by the same company now. But no, like I said, I felt fun. And then the Deus Ex Machina at the end when, I created this thing that creates a time bubble so you guys can have a few minutes.
You don't have to worry about Galactus chomping down. You got a couple minutes.
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of ridiculous. And why is Galactus attacking? It's like, what part of Galactus? Here's my biggest thing. Here's my biggest thing about it. And when that first happens, I thought I thought that was Reed's gift. Was like, no, I created this fictional thing so that all the heroes would be somewhere else. Because I know you didn't want any heroes at this.
Yeah.
Because you didn't want any superhero shenanigans. So that's all just a ruse I created.
Mm-hmm.
To distract everybody else so you could have a few minutes to your piece. No, but then I created a space-time bubble, which, don't they, already have those? And haven't we seen that before? It's a space-time bubble that takes you out of the universe.
And if you have a bubble that, stops time for 4 minutes, wouldn't you save that and try to throw that around Galactus and slow him down for 4 minutes, maybe?
Well, honestly, it's, like I said, it was a weird Deus Ex Machina, which we will never mention again. At no time when this would be a really useful thing to happen will it come up again. It's like, okay. So it was. It's an issue that they made to sell some comics.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they sold a few. Mine's still on hold, but it's getting picked up soon. I just have to get to the freaking store to buy it.
And you get the classic Doom monologue. It's like, Reed Richards is off, busy having friends and a life. Doom will defeat Galactus.
Exactly. Honestly, yeah. The redoing of Doom was poorly done. They re-Deadpooled his face. It's
again, with a child who will never, a woman and his child who will never speak of again. And probably, at least not for many years.
Yeah, not until, 2 years and then his daughter will be 22.
Yeah, exactly.
Sliding time. It works like that.
She'll show up with Nathaniel.
Yeah. Hey, it's his granddaughter. I always take care of my grandkids. This is something I do. He's totally. Actually, I think he's his great grandfather, but that's like I said, my whole Von Doom thing. It's like it's all a lie. He's not really a Von Doom.
His own grandfather.
The true Baron is the Von Doom. And the sad part is that means that his father just totally wasted his scientific genius. He's probably the smartest man in the whole Gypsy Caravan, but it's like, yeah, what am I going to do? I'm in a Gypsy Caravan. That's like, I'd love to. I understand space and time and quantum mechanics, but, I kind of got to do other stuff today, Yeah, not for nothing. Oh, any whoosies.
But speaking of geniuses.
Okay, now this was my favorite book.
Yes.
The Dias Cast, bro.
Superior Spider-Man #1.
Okay, and here we have a villain who knows how to be a hero. And I love, oh man, there's so much in this book. So good. So well written. Just the whole. I love when Maria Marconi is calling him out. Mm-hmm. Like there are like 7 papers about how you were actually always a jerk, and it wasn't all the which is a great way to like sort of talk about that whole. Did he used to be good before the accident? Before the tragic accident question, because clearly Otto believes that. Otto believes the hype. He says, "No, I was actually a good guy. Maybe I was." And here's Otto's statement: "Is I was maybe not the he basically Otto sees himself like Sheldon. I was a little too kowtowing to my mom, and I was a little obsessed with my work, but I wasn't a bad guy." And Marconi gives the other argument, which is like, "No, you were always a bad guy. You just didn't have power until you get bonded to your tentacles." And this is the big debate and argument about Otto Octavius: was he a good guy or was he a bad guy? And we will never know until we actually meet Otto Octavius, who has died several times now.
Yes.
Which I really want that to be a thing that Marvel eventually addresses. Probably not until I get the opportunity to write for Marvel Comics will it be addressed. But if I ever get the opportunity to write for Marvel Comics, the first issue that I do is going to be other souls of clones coming back and saying, "You're not really you, but you are you, but just understand that we all had our own lives," Which is a great way to solve a lot of issues. Honestly,
yeah.
Why no writer has thought to actually address that as a way to explain why this wizard was this way, and that wizard was that way, and this Doctor Doom was this way, and this Doctor Doom was that way. It's because they keep on transferring their minds into clones, but that doesn't keep their bodies from having souls. That's the thing. It's like if a dog can have a soul, so can a clone. I don't know if they've ever established that dogs have souls in the afterlife, but I kind of feel they probably have at some point. If nothing else, they've certainly established that frogs have a very active internal life through the Thor frog stories. And through Squirrel Girl and her relationships with the squirrels of the world. Literally, the whole world, every squirrel throughout the world listens to Squirrel Girl. That woman's got it going on.
Oh, but there's so much good in this. I love the beginning with Stilt Man.
The Stilt Man was good.
Oh man, he just like webs him up, throws him off the building, and he's like, I could have hit the ground. If you had miscalculated by a fraction, I'd be dead. And Otto's like, I don't miscalculate, and he's like, even if I did, problem still solved.
Yeah, not for nothing. Well, you see, this is why I like Otto, because he is a superhero, but he is more than happy to work in the Punisher's domain. He's happy to say, you know what? Don't act like it would be a great tragedy if you accidentally died in combat. Peter would be guilt-stricken for the rest of his life if he accidentally killed the Stone. But, Otto's going to say, well, you know what? You were the one trying to kill everybody in town. And you weren't really caring about the collateral damage you did. And more to the point, he made this really kind of straight-up statement like, dude, why didn't you go to freaking Iowa? They got buildings in Iowa. And go rob a... Is that really his thing? He just, has stilts to rob skyscrapers? Mm-hmm. Man, they were not... Not for nothing. I'm just going to say he was not a well-thought-out... mechanical genius, I'll give. But maybe not the best. Maybe criminal... Maybe... you ever think that maybe criminality is not the real business you should be going into? That's all I'm going to say. It's like, maybe you're not good at being... Maybe you should, stick to being a guy who invents stilts that might be useful in other situations. Maybe, robbing high-rise buildings is not the business you were meant for. Just going to say that. Favorite thing about this book, though? Digger.
Oh! That was my whole thing with the Night Shift. It's like, do they know he's... I was thinking, how many people know he's Otto?
Well, Digger and Dance Macabre.
Oh, I was gonna say, do they know? I would have been like, do they know? But I guess they do because she was even like, oh, you're a lot fitter these days. I'm like, oh, okay, so she's familiar with what he used to look like.
Yeah, well, honestly, Otto's not a master of disguise.
Well, yeah, that's what Anna Marie said too. She's like, I put two and two together when the superior octopus hit town.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they don't know he's Tolliver. That's the difference. No. Maria's the only one that knows that he's Tolliver.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's tall over the place. No, Maria knows he's Tolliver, but no one else knows he's Tolliver. They know that he used to be Doc Ock, now he's Superior Spider-Man. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fine, boss. That worked for us. No, Dance Macabre is like, really like, dang, you rejected me? It's like, but, he's like, first off, how do you know Doc Ock isn't gay? Okay, so don't take it personal, Dance Macabre.
He tried to marry Aunt May. Come on, he's not gay.
I don't know that marrying Aunt May is definitely proof that you're not gay.
Okay, he was with Stunner. Okay,
well, he's done a lot of things in his life. I'm just saying, don't take it personal, Dance Macabre. And not for nothing, as he points out, it's like, I kind of like smart ladies. And, like the only woman that has, and again with Stunner, he likes women who challenge his intellect.
Mm-hmm.
And Stunner was the same way, Aunt May was about the money, but you know what? He actually does have a soft spot in his heart for Aunt May, because, maybe in that way that, you like some, and maybe Aunt May's way smarter than people think,
Mm-hmm.
It's like those wheat cakes are really good. I don't know, but, I don't know, man. Maybe she invented, like, the perfect wheat cake. Because people rave about them. By the way, that was, like, my favorite character in the Spider-Geddon crossover was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she adopts all the... Take him to another dimension. Why not? It works. They still killed them, though, It's like they killed them all.
Yeah, I know. And then
Spider-Men are weird morally. It's like, that's all I gotta say. Really, like, it's supposed to be like science. It's like, you kind of murdered them. But
I love how she tries to have the living brain bring him in, though. Oh yeah, I bring out the living brain.
Yeah, but she improved him. Said, he's not like, I kept his old look because,
and I kept all the old whirs and clicks, but it's all digital. That's just for nostalgia's sake. And he has the whirs and clicks.
I rebuilt him because she's a super genius too.
Huh.
But then I like the fact that she's like, fine, go save the city.
From who?
Who was the villain? Oh, Perich. Galactus really needs to do something with his heralds. He's like, oh, I have infinite cosmic power. What, head herald? Oh, okay. Yeah. I kind of think like Galactus is kind of really absent-minded. Because we know he can, like, take the power cosmic back, and why he doesn't is kind of weird. It's like...
Yeah, but I mean, that power cosmic isn't all it's cracked up to be. I mean, it was a hard fight, but Peter Parker beat Firelord, so...
Oh, no, people beat with the power cosmic all that. I mean, technically, like, the cosmic rays are now officially, like, the power cosmic. They've done stuff with that. Like, the cosmic power is really just cosmic powers, The power cosmic... But, I'm just saying he leaves it lying around. It's like, Terax, I will make you my hero. It's like, great. I will go find you a bunch of worlds to destroy. Then it's like, they're destroying too many worlds. Like, isn't that literally what you hired me to do? I mean, literally, isn't that what you wanted me to do? Find you worlds to destroy. Here's a world, destroy it.
Okay, here's what I was thinking about the other day. All right, so say Anna Marie had taken him to the police. Maybe she could connect him to the Scarlet Spider, but how do you connect him to Otto Octavius? Because even his DNA is not going to point to Octavius, is it? Is it basically going to be his word against hers?
Yeah, I mean, that's when he said she should, but that's why he said he's just going to leave,
Yeah.
But that's what he says. It's like, I'm not going to put this through a whole mess. I'll leave,
Mm-hmm.
It's like, because apparently he has like 6 other identities that he's established already. It's like because obviously Tolliver was just the most convenient,
Yes.
It was the one on the West Coast. In case he had to fight Tiger. No, but I loved, I loved so much. There's so much going on in this book. I really want the Digger Gwenpool crossover. They're both on the West Coast. Don't tease me like this, Mar-Vell. Because no, but you know what would be cool about that? Is Digger talks to the audience in the way that Deadpool does. Gwen doesn't. Gwen knows this universe, but she's not actually a metafictional character. That's the thing about Gwenpool. She's not actually a metafictional character. She's a character in a fictional universe from a universe that knew that this universe was fictional. A metafictional character is a character from that universe that is aware of their own comic nature.
I mean, they could easily set up this team up. I mean, all you gotta do is a crossover between Superior Spider-Man book and West Coast Avengers, and boom, done.
Yeah, make it happen, freaking Marvel Comics. Okay? Because this needs to happen. And not for nothing, I just want to see I want to see the freaking tension between Quire and Digger when Digger and Gwenpool start talking about being metafictional together.
No, the clash of egos between Quire and Otto.
Oh! Not for nothing, you know.
You're a child, and you used to be a fat middle-aged white man. Shut up!
He's still white.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah. In this universe.
True.
Yeah. So my favorite part of Into the Spider-Verse is when May calls her Liv. Which makes me wonder, did they date in that universe? It's the aughts, it's the teens now, man. May could be, maybe, you know. It's not like Liv didn't want to get that nuclear power plant for reasons.
I just read that as true. Yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, she makes the point that her friends call her Liv.
Oh.
So clearly they're friends. Now, how deep that friendship goes, that's something for the fan community to decide. But no, but it was Otto. Honestly, the Superior Spider-Man is as good as the original Superior Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
The Superior Spider-Man is great because it's about a character evolving and growing and being better and different.
I think it's better than the original just because before he had to pretend to be Peter Parker. Now he can just be like, I can be whatever I want.
Well, yeah, that, and I'll go along with that completely. I love it. It was great. It was, of the 2 books I read this week, it was my pick of the week. You know, it was a slow week. It was, it's the end of the year. Everyone's getting rid of stuff. Yeah,
last week of the year. Yeah, they only had 4 books out. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I really, I was really disappointed by Fantastic Four. Because, it's just like...
You. Yeah.
How much was that book? That's like a $5 or $6 book?
It was...
Because it seemed like there was a lot of pages in there.
Let's see. It was $7.99.
Good God, y'all. Oh. I mean, really, it's like, and for how much story? It's like I said, it's like the Sue story was everything you needed in this book.
Yeah.
They should have ended it at the end of Sue's story and then gone on to the wedding. Because first off, we didn't need Ben's bachelor party.
Yeah.
And then the Surfing Society jumping out of cakes.
I think they just wanted humor and they wanted a moment between Ben and Johnny. Yeah.
No, they wanted to fill pages. They said, "We're charging $4.99. We need extra pages."
That too.
Yeah, it's like, and not for nothing, they could have told a good Reed story with that.
True.
It's like, or they could have told a better Johnny story with that. It's like they could have, what they could have done is they could have gone this would have been interesting. Is they could have had everyone go back to the start and have everyone go over their memories and how they saw Ben in that moment. Honestly, I would have loved to have seen, especially when you see how Sue depicts Ben in that. It's like, he was like, the Lothario Ben Grimm.
Yeah.
Colonel Ben Grimm. I didn't know he was a colonel up until this point.
Yeah, because, it has been 650 issues. They could have gone back.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen, especially because Johnny is kind of a punk kid in that first, in Sue's story. I would love to see how Johnny saw himself in that. And what I would have loved to have seen is seeing Johnny see himself as even more awkward and more self-conscious.
Or he just acted like the punk kid because he was scared, maybe?
Well, exactly. Well, that's the thing. Is that I think Johnny probably saw himself as this, as a punk kid.
Uh-huh.
That Johnny said, I'm a punk kid, and I'm sitting here with Reed Richards and freaking Colonel freaking Ben Grimm, which is something people know what that means in this universe. And I'm punk kid Johnny Storm. And to have the idea of him always being feeling like being an acne-ridden teen would have been cool to see that bravado of Johnny Storm taken down. Now, they approach that a bit where they're like, oh, what am I doing with my life? But have we seen Johnny say, what am I doing with my life 1,000 times already?
Oh, yeah.
I would love to have seen Johnny saying, what am I doing with my life when he's a teenager? Because never nothing. If you're 40 and you're saying, what am I doing with my life? You kind of missed the boat on what are you doing with your life.
I think what they were going with him, what am I doing with my life? Maybe they're going like you said. Maybe Elijah's coming back.
That's like a redemption for this, but then they should have teased it in this.
I know. It's either Elijah or a new girlfriend. I'm telling you, it's one.
Well, we've already had new girlfriends.
Yeah.
And again, where's Ms. Thing in all of this?
True.
It's like there's people that they could have invited, like I said, inviting Thundra, or even, honestly, not for nothing, why are they inviting Medusa and Crystal? Are they close to,
I mean, she might know them just because they were members of the Fantastic Four at certain points.
I understand the premise of it.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what I'll say is when you actually get the first story, the wedding special, and you get the actual bachelorette party, it seems much more like, oh, these are Alicia's friends that are organizing it. I mean, Jen Walters comes because Jen Walters is a central part of the story. And Sue is a central part of the story. Everyone beyond that, it's a little weird they show up.
Yeah, but honestly, during that Byrne era when She-Hulk was a member of the Fantastic Four, that wasn't the real Alicia. Anyway.
Fair enough.
Because she gets grabbed right before they come back from Battle World.
Yeah, this is true. You got me, Phil. You got me. That would really be like, why are all you people here?
All right, how about...
Although, you know what it might be? Is her friends don't know that.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, well, we've been all the Fantastic Four. It's like, I don't know these. I, literally know Ben and Sue. And, Reed's there, and then Johnny's over there. But these are not my friends. I am friends with Benjamin Grimm.
I mean, we're running
and
late,
you ladies who are also artists.
That is interesting topic. It's just are these friends she's made since she's been back? Or, did she have to explain to these people, the last 5 years, that wasn't me. I was an alien imposter.
Well, obviously these are friends that she works, because these are artists, and they work in the artist community. So obviously, they're all artists together. Honestly, maybe, you know what, not for nothing, maybe they're I don't want to say star effers, but maybe they're oh, this is our chance to invite all these superheroes that we've wouldn't it be cool? Let's get this lady and let's get this lady.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the Scarlet Witch didn't show up. What am I here? Do I know any of you people? Just invite her.
Janet Van Dyne, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Was Janet Van Dyne there? I think she was.
No, but there was that period, again, was it during the Byrne era where, when they, the Fantastic Four were, hanging with the Avengers, then when
No, I meant at the bachelorette party. Was Janet Van Dyne in that group? I thought she was.
Oh, maybe. I can't remember.
Yeah, it just did not seem like it was Alicia's party. It seemed very much like this was someone else's party that Alicia went to. But anyway, yeah. And that's what I'll say is that issue was better than this issue.
Mm-hmm.
That issue, I'd say, was worth it $7.99.
Yeah.
This issue, much less so. It's except for Sue's story, which was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But then they didn't follow that same pattern. Johnny's story was weak. And then Reed's, hey, I brought a Deus Ex Machina. It's okay. Thanks for playing, Reed. And then he's like, oh, join the Fantastic Car here. It's faster. Okay, Reed. Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. I hear you. Okay, anyway. anything else to talk about? Because we're going to have to start the next show in a few minutes.
Yeah, no, I think we're good.
Okay, yeah. Sorry we started late. I had to go get they forgot the sound.
That's all right.
Anyway, Philip, I love you.
Love
Happy old year. There's a few days left of this year, and I hope you have a happy one. I hope this year ends well for you.
You too, my friend.
And I wish you a happy new year the next show.
All right.
Okay. Philip, how can people find you if they'd like to talk to you about all the things that are wonderful about you?
Oh, you can always get a hold of me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com. On Twitter, I am at nightwingpdp. And remember, you can follow Superconnectivity on Facebook, facebook.com/Superconnectivity Podcast, and on Twitter @SuperConnectPod.
Okay, and of course you can always follow me you can always write to me in that old-fashioned email way. The Where are Moz and Paws? And even Reed Richards once did. At superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And of course, follow me on the Twitters as I live tweet Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is coming back, and Cloak and Dagger, and the Orville this Sunday. I'm going to be tweeting that at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsselCR. Look for the two E's in the middle.
For quality.
There you go, kids. Thank you for connecting with us tonight. Please, super connect with us again next week in the new year. It's crazy.
Crazy.
It's crazy as crazy gets. Yeah. So that was that show. Still gotta write my Skull Cows blog. I really gotta get back to writing. Yeah, it's on my list of things to do. But I have a computer that has Word on it. I should do it. It's hard to have a grown-up life.
Make it so in 2019.